Hello, I'm Tim with the Iowa Register, and I'm here with Callee Kaufman. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much for being here
Yeah,
today.
I'm excited. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, it is January. It's
Yes.
January the 15th, kind of the slog of the month.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have you on today because first of all, what do you do at Humboldt Fitness? Explain your role.
So at Humboldt Fitness, I originally started by being the yoga instructor, and then I started teaching Total Body Blast, a couple different fitness classes. And then about almost 4 years ago, I transitioned over into becoming the personal trainer, the certified personal trainer, the nutrition coach, the certified nutrition coach, the behavior change specialist, and I'm the assistant director. So I have a couple of different hats, but my main
That's a lot.
role, yeah, right. My main role is I still teach Pilates and I teach yoga, but I work with clients on personal training, programming, and nutrition.
Okay. That's a lot of things. You are very busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that fits with why I'm really happy that you're here today, because resolutions are kind of like, okay, they're not new anymore. They're maybe starting to feel a little bit tiresome, like this thing of I wasn't going to eat this and that, or I was going to do all this physical activity that now is like, okay, I'm sore and I'm grumpy and I'm tired.
Yes.
And so that's kind of what I was thinking of is like, man, resolutions in January 3 are really easy, but
Yeah.
by February 3, many of them are like done. They're out the window. And so I just kind of wanted to first of all ask you, do you have New Year's resolutions? Do you have any tricks to like keeping them, or kind of what's your thoughts on all of that?
So I used to be the stereotypical resolutions person as well. I was like, all right, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to get rid of blah. I'm going to do whatever. And I actually, a couple of years ago, decided to kind of shift that thought process and decided to go a little bit simpler, to be honest with you. And because of that, it's made it to where I don't really have any resolutions. Instead, it's more,
Really?
yeah. Actually, I don't even do the like, okay, guys, what are we gonna do for this next year? I don't even really think about that anymore, believe it or not. But that is simply because the focus for me starts all the time. It's always going, and it's this a little bit simpler for myself. So instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to stop drinking a Dr. Pepper, or I'm going to stop drinking soda, instead it's just, okay, well, if I want to have a soda, I'm going to have a soda. If I don't want a soda, I don't want a soda.
Yeah.
I live my life based off of how my body is responding to what I'm consuming, what I'm doing, so on and so forth. And finding that mind-body connection has made it to where I don't feel the need to make a resolution because I'm very content with how I feel and the way my body functions.
That's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And it sounds freeing
Yes.
in a lot of ways.
Yes. I used to be like the stereotypical, oh, okay, well, we're going to do this detox, or we're going to do this specific 30-day challenge, or what have you. And thankfully, because of education and training and my behavior change specialization, a lot of those things really helped free me from what I always like to call is like the toxic diet culture, the quicksand. It tries to tell you do this more, do this. You're not doing blah enough. You're not consuming enough. You're not working out enough. You're not blah. And so now it's more of, I don't listen to a lot of that toxic diet culture, and it's a constant effort. We always have to work on that, but it's very freeing. Very, very freeing.
You said quicksand. What do you mean when you say that? I get the part of toxic diet culture. I think what you mean is like, you lose 30 pounds in a month because you basically only eat carrots.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And then you relapse, or, it's just like this constant thing of not feeling like you're enough.
Exactly.
But quicksand, I hadn't heard that term before.
So I just think, I think back to in like the 90s when quicksand was like in every movie and like every book you saw like the craziness. And that's kind of what I always have compared it to when it comes to the mental overload and the physical overload that starts to happen with overall health and wellness, and what happens when we don't have like proper guidance and freedom from it.
Hmm.
So you feel like you're at least for myself, I've always felt like it kind of swallows you up. And before you realize that you step onto the toxic diet culture quicksand, and then you're engulfed by it.
Yeah.
And now you don't know what to do, and you're not doing anything correctly, and you're trying, and I saw on this article, well, I saw my friend on social media, well, I saw this thing on TV or this ad during the football game, and it's just swallowing you up.
Huh.
And I find it nasty. I hate it. I hate it for people. I hate how people start their year with this thought process of I'm miserable or I'm not enough, like what you mentioned. And it's hard to get out of that, but having the people or the support system or the education, the tools to get out of it is available. It's there.
Okay. So you've probably got, and I feel like I'm part of that because here I am, it's January and I'm making my resolutions, and a lot of them have to do with not enough, not sleeping enough, not getting enough exercise, not, there's a lot.
Yes.
So when somebody comes into Humboldt Fitness and you probably see these red flags and, your radar starts going off. Yeah. I mean, where do you start? And I guess the second part of that is, if it's not about not drinking that Dr. Pepper, then what is health to you? I mean, how do I know if I'm healthy, I guess?
Yeah. So I think, anytime someone comes to talk with me during a consultation, I'm always asking them a lot of personal questions. I ask them about their health history. I ask them, did you play any sports? What do you do for fun? What do you do for stress management? What XYZ? And a lot of the time I have found that the reason that people come in and they have red flags is simply because there's been issues that have never been addressed. And then they have been really reinstilled over and over again because of society. And a lot of it isn't, oh my goodness, I'm drinking too much soda. Instead, it is, oh, every single time that I'm having a really bad day, the soda was that thing that gave me this like, oh, yay. And every time that you're out to eat, you're like, oh my gosh, well, that's going to make me feel good. Or, oh, well, this is going to do blah, whatever it might be. It's root issues that haven't been addressed, that we continue to use some of these quote unquote vices. Not that soda is a vice, but we have these things that is a problem from other things. We never were told, hey, you can have a soda. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you're drinking water too. We've villainized a lot of things in health and wellness. And unfortunately, it's just not the case. You can do both. I feel like I'm a pretty good example of that. And I mean, we all have our flaws, but if I want to have a soda, I'm going to have one, but I don't need it. I don't crave it. I don't, oh my gosh. Also, just like if I have a soda, I don't have the shame and the guilt and the frustrations with myself, which is what tends to happen for a lot of people with resolutions or with any health related thing. Is there's a lot of emotional turmoil that people are dealing with that they don't always realize is correlated from other things.
So I'm just curious how that looks when you're working with a client. I mean, what you're saying is really there's so much mental space that goes into our physical health and the system of rewards or, feeling guilt and shame about any of these things that we eat or we do or we like to do, but we feel like we can't. But when I think, and I probably have like an outdated idea of a physical trainer or personal trainer, but it's like, okay, do 15 sit-ups really fast or like lift more than you did last week. Yes. So, I mean, I don't know how that looks for you when you're working with people. I mean, how does that?
So how it works basically with all my clients and myself and everyone, this is one of the biggest things I think should be really, really instilled and really, really changed in society is just because it works for a group doesn't mean it works for you as an individual. Your
Mhm.
health is such an individualized thing. Something could be super healthy, but awful for you. I have a wheat allergy, so
Mhm.
I can't have things that have wheat in them. So you think of whole grain bread, delicious, wonderful. I love it. I think it's so good. But it doesn't matter how much avocado toast I eat for breakfast
Yeah.
if it's not the right thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing is like we've had so many things generalized, so many things like, oh, this is going to work for everybody. Oh, this is going to, but it doesn't. That's why people end up coming to me. That's why people come to some form of a professional is they've tried the thing.
Yeah.
They've tried to do the, oh, well, I did the blah, but it doesn't work for them. So when we take a pause, and I always say, take a pause, and it's always better to be authentic than it is to try to be impressive. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So if we take a moment and we start to kind of dive into how are you responding to exercises? How are you responding to certain foods? How are you responding to certain stressors? Then when we really break it down that you're an individual and your needs are going to be based off of your life and your place in society at the time and where you're at and what you're doing, it really does start to break it down a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, I guess one of the things that it's been in the news a lot, and you're talking about a group, is like they're literally just published a whole new food pyramid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like
Absolutely.
they're basically telling, the country like this is what we should be eating. So I don't know. And I mean, there's been lots of back and forth and well, should we be eating this much protein? Should we be eating this much butter? Should we be eating this much, these many fruits and vegetables? And I guess how do you find some rules to live by, or
Yeah.
where do you kind of go for some tried and true
Yes.
advice? I get what you're saying about like everybody's an individual, but I mean, how do you deal with that part of it?
So the biggest thing I'll tell anybody when it comes to nutrition specifically is eat the rainbow. And I wish that like Skittles Corporation wouldn't have made that like their slogan, because the truth is like eating the rainbow, quote unquote, is such a basic but livable way to like go about your foods. So when I say that, eating the rainbow, eating different colors, there are all these different types of nutrients that we get from food. And phytonutrients only can come from plants. So when you look at what phytonutrients are, like if you have a red apple and you have green grapes, and then you have a spinach salad, and then you have a yellow potato. All of these different things are going to give you different phytonutrients, different nutrients for your body that you're needing. And a lot of the times the reason why we're taking a lot of supplements or we're doing very specific protein drinks or whatever it might be is because we're lacking a lot of nutrients.
My food is brown.
Yes,
my entire
food,
plate
yes,
is
the beige,
brown.
right?
Yeah.
So when we have different colors, and it doesn't have to always be fresh, because I know the financial commitment that takes to be healthy, and that's what people talk about all the time.
Right.
You don't have to make it completely organic. You don't have to make it to where you're buying only in the produce section first thing in your grocery store. You can get canned things. You can get frozen things. You can make it more doable. And the biggest thing I say too with eating the rainbow is, okay, you weren't able to get a carrot. That's okay. Try again the next day.
Yeah.
The more you try to open that up, the better it's going to be for you. And the other thing that's really, really, it goes back into a method of tried and true, but also individualism with it, is how does your body respond to your food? We are constantly in a state of go, 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 busy, 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 not enough time.
Right.
So we're rushing. And one of the things we tend to do is we're eating while we're in front of the TV, or we're eating in our car on the way to our next meeting, right? Yep. And so we're focusing so much on other things that sometimes we don't even realize, like, oh man, my lower back has been killing me. I wonder what I did. Oh, it's not your lower back. It's the fact that your system's inflamed a little bit. And the food that you ate, that ice cream you had, it doesn't really like your body. And we've really gotten used to things in society of like, well, it's that's just how we all feel. No, food is not supposed to make you feel bad. You are not mentally or physically. And taking control back from food is important.
What I hear you saying, as kind of like the undercurrent of the conversation is listening to your body,
Yep.
is listening, slowing down, finding the space and the time. It's really hard when you're eating on the go, or what you're saying is
Absolutely.
constantly distracted by whatever's on our screens or whatever at work, family.
Mhm.
It's really hard. How do you find that in your life?
Mhm.
You're a mom, you're a
Yes.
full-time
Yes.
employee, you're a wife. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Um, how do you like I imagine it takes some work,
Yeah.
some mental headspace to be able to like slow down.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the things that I did that I encourage everyone to do is when you have a moment of, I don't have a good feeling, my stomach's upset, whatever it might be, take note of it. Whether you want to physically write it down or put it in your phone or log it in like a wellness or fitness tracker online, whatever it might be, putting your actual symptoms and responses to things down is important, because you might not think, oh man, I don't know why I had that weird stomach ache the other day. But if maybe you write down, oh, I had a little stomach issue, and also I had that one pasta that time, that's when you can start to correlate things together. For myself, when I actually realized I needed to go to the doctor for an allergy, I was having skin reactions. We don't always respond the way we think we do. And how are you supposed to know if you don't take a little bit of a pause? So you don't have to do it all throughout your day. You don't have to write every single thing down that you eat, every single symptom you have. But in whatever way works well for you, or even a voice memo, like we're on a podcast right now, right? Do whatever you can to just kind of take note of yourself.
Yeah. Switching then away from a little bit of the diet or the food side to the physical activity. I mean, you're at Humboldt Fitness, and obviously when you see clients, you're seeing them there at the facility, and it's beautiful. I'm a member, and I need to go more, because every time I go, I feel like my life is enhanced, because it's so beautiful, and the bathroom is so much nicer than my bathroom. Like,
You're right.
Even little things,
it's a good bathroom.
like the soaps, I'm like, oh my gosh, these
and
are
our
nice.
hand towels.
Yes.
We have special hand towels. Yeah,
I know. I need these at home.
right. I agree.
But that part aside, I'm just like, one thing that Callee Frizzell, who's the director and your
Amazing.
teammate there, yes, she wrote for our Home for the Holidays magazine, was that there's a lot of different ways to get physical activity, and it is going to the gym, but it also isn't. It's also like playing with your kids, walking your dog, just like raking leaves, those types of things that are just a little bit more active. And so I'm wondering how you kind of approach people who are saying, hey, I don't have time to drive to Humboldt and get to the gym, or, I would love to, but I don't really like exercising in front of people. Like, I don't like to sweat, and I don't like be wiping down.
Yes.
Just kind of curious how you work with your clients on that.
Yes. So I always say movement is what matters. So any type of movement that's moving your body in a productive way that you enjoy, you have to find the things that you like, because if you already hate whatever it is, it's going to be really, really hard for you to continue it. Yeah. Like, it's like with resolutions. It's like, if you already hate the thing and you're like, all right, well, this is what I have to do. Like, you're already not having a good time and you haven't even begun. Yeah. So if you find the things that you enjoy or you love, or with the people that you're with, it makes it better. So for example, like movement, I don't exercise your traditional functional exercise on the weekends, hardly ever. It's typically I'm dancing around with my child. We're in the living room and we're just dancing for 3 minutes, a 3-minute song. When it comes to people coming in and they don't want to do specific exercises or whatever it might be, that's where it goes back to the individualized process. So what things do you really enjoy? What things do you like? And if they haven't found anything that they like, a client, that's when we get to kind of discover that for them. And my biggest thing is when you can laugh and have a good time and there's good energy and positivity, it tends to feel much easier than if you are going into whatever it is dreading it.
Yeah.
And that can look like walking, that can look like dancing, that can look like swimming, that can look like stretching, because movement is what matters. It doesn't have to be in a gym at all.
Huh.
It can be, and I work in a gym, and it does not have to be in a gym unless that works better for your goals. Then absolutely.
There's a permissions part that you keep hitting on, and this idea that like it's okay to feel good and to be
Yeah.
happy. Where do you think this comes from, this idea that maybe we shouldn't feel that way? I mean, it almost sounds to me like you encounter a lot of people or a lot of a part of our society that wants us to feel bad
Mhm.
or isn't okay with us feeling good about our bodies, about
Mhm.
what we eat, about how we exercise. I'm just curious, like, you're kind of talking
Mhm.
about the root issues. Where do you see that coming from?
So down my little, I don't want to go down my conspiracy rabbit holes or
Yeah.
anything like that, but a lot of it is, from what I see, is stemming from this continuous belief that fitness isn't fun. You do this to punish yourself. It's instilled like almost like generational trauma,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
of you're not enough. So here's what you should do. And then you hear people who are your idols, your heroes, your moms, your dads, your aunts, your uncles, whoever it might be. And they're constantly talking bad about themselves
Mm,
and what they need to do better.
mm,
And so what we tend to do is we mimic people around us, we mimic things we hear. And we've been hearing things in society, in magazines, on social media, whatever it might be.
yeah.
And it's just been an instilled thing that unless you are a very specific size, even now that's not enough either, or you lift a specific way, or you have zero body fat percentage,
Yeah.
then you aren't doing enough.
There's a lot of body image work there. And I
Yeah.
imagine, especially for women, and I mean, for men, I
Mhm.
feel like, yeah, I should be bench pressing a certain
Mhm.
number, or the idea of exercise equaling punishment.
Yeah.
I think I really totally get that
Yeah.
because I hear a lot of men that I know talk
Mhm.
about it's almost like tithing, or like going to
Yes.
confession. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm a sinner. I did my exercise. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm back in grace.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
idea of like,
absolutely.
you
And
need to do it.
And what I think about too, yeah, and what I think about too, and I ask people a lot of the times with their health and wellness is when, especially when there's tons of red flags, like when did you really realize you weren't liking what you were or who you were?
Mm,
Like when was that moment? And for a lot of people, it takes a second, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Or then it's like, well, I guess. And a lot of it stems back all the way from childhood, and it's growing up and hearing these societal norms that have just been instilled. And unfortunately, now it's not just you're checking out at the grocery store and you see a magazine that completely just is degrading to whoever is on the cover of, oh my gosh, did you see their cellulite on their
yeah.
legs?
Yeah.
It's not that now. It's you open up your phone and immediately it's there. Oh, you're watching TV, you're watching a streaming service, whatever it could be. It's constant. And the fact that I encounter young children who are in elementary school, and I mean like first graders, second graders, who are already calling themselves very derogatory names when it comes to their body, that they're fat or they're chubby or whatever it might be. That is a problem in our society.
Huh.
And they're not getting that. They don't just think of that themselves. Just like whatever belief system we sometimes have, we don't just get that from ourselves out of our brain one day. We hear it, we've mimicked it, we've watched someone else who we loved say that about themselves, or people we idolized say that about themselves.
Yeah, but that is just such a radical. I mean, I guess you're really challenging how I look at fitness and your work as a personal trainer. I mean, you're really having to deconstruct societal, preconceptions, stereotypes, this constant 24/7 messaging.
Yeah.
I think what you said really affected me, this idea of like, as kids, we hear how our parents talk about themselves.
Mhm.
Mom is in front of the mirror and says, "Oh, I look awful today,"
Mhm.
or "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was so," fill in the blank.
Mhm.
Um, what do? You have a young
I have a
daughter.
daughter. Mhm.
So, and I think especially when you're a mom and it's your daughter. It's kind of like how I feel with I have 2 kids. I have a son and a daughter, but I feel like my son pays attention to me a little bit more because he sees himself more in me.
Yes.
So what's the messaging that how do you do that? I mean, how are you working with your daughter, or just what do you talk about at home to kind of?
Yeah. So, I always like to tell the story to some of my clients, especially the clients that do have younger daughters, or that they start to talk about their previous history of who they mimicked some of their negative feelings for. And there was a day where I don't even know what it was, what I was wearing, what it could have been. And my husband had complimented me, and he said, my daughter's name is Catherine and my husband's name is Eric. And Eric said, he's like, Catherine, doesn't mommy look so beautiful? And she said, yes, but she looks really strong. And she was like 5. She's like, she looks really strong, whatever it was. And I remember that like feeling of like, yeah, because in that moment, and in that moment, I didn't say, oh, well, I need to fix this about myself. Oh, well, I said, thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you so much, Eric. And I took the compliment and I said, I try really hard to be as healthy as I can be and feel good. And I want to feel good. And that's something with my daughter that I very much instill. I, as just like most human beings, there's very rare I run into anyone who's like, oh yeah, I've always loved everything about myself. I haven't ran into a person like that, but whoever does, like, please seek me out. I would love to talk to you. Right? Like, please let me know. But I don't want my daughter growing up with the mentality that I did. I did not always have this mentality. I did not always have this thought process. I used to have I need to be super crazy regimented. I need to have very restrictive calories. This is all the bull crap that they've been telling us. And I refuse for my daughter to get that from my home. She's going to get it out from society, and she's not going to get it in here. She's got to find
that space, that refuge from that.
Exactly. And so I really encourage, we eat, and my mom always said this too, was like, eat whatever you want, just don't make yourself sick, right? So don't make yourself sick like, oh, I ate so much candy, I'm going to throw up. So at home, we have a variety of different foods, and there's no crazy restrictions. My daughter loves all kinds of fruits. And I say, oh, fruits are so good for you because they help do X, Y, Z. And we talk about the whys, and we talk about why we run, why we would dance, why we would do whatever. And it just makes you feel good. And my daughter likes to stretch with me. I've never forced her to exercise. I've never forced her to do anything like that. But every once in a while, she's like, oh, can I do yoga with you? I'm like, sure, Catherine, absolutely. I'd love for you to.
Because it's good and fun.
It's fun.
The food tastes good, not because
we hate
this
ourselves.
Is not punishment. I'm not eating spinach by the handful just because of vitamins A. Okay, so I want to boil it down.
Yes.
Give me some words that come to your mind when you think of what health means to you.
What health means to me, some words. I would say energy. I would say being able to wake up and be like, you know what? I feel good. Feeling good. Feeling like you can exist in your day in a variety of aspects. So moving, being able to touch your toes without having back pain.
Right.
So energy, moving with ease. Also just not having a state of constant ow or uncomfortable. You know, the picking at your clothes because you don't feel very good of what you're wearing or what, just existing with a little bit of freedom is health, but also just overall paying attention to you and saying, okay, do I feel good or do I feel bad?
Now flip it. What isn't health? You know,
health is not restrictions. It's not insane calorie deficits. It's not over regimen. It's not work out 6 days a week, 1 rest day, 1 cheat day. It's not that at all. At all. It's not, I have to spend 3 hours in a gym.
Yeah. Health is not pain.
It is not. No, absolutely. And it's also not shame and guilt and self-loathing.
Yeah.
That's not what health is. If you are constantly walking by a mirror to look to see what your body looks like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
If you're constantly thinking, okay, well, if I eat this, I should run a little bit more. That's not health.
Health isn't weighing yourself every day,
No.
trying to get on a scale.
Exactly. That is a
Yeah.
huge red flag. If there's anyone right now that's hearing this, watching this, that is weighing themselves daily, take a pause, throw the scale away.
Really?
Throw the scale away. Throw it away.
Huh.
That your worth, your health is not. And also, side note, you can go 5 pounds every day throughout what you're eating.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly if you step on a scale and it's going to affect your mentality of did I do good or did I do bad, that is a sign that you need to throw it away.
That is so funny because on Monday, I went to the doctor for my weekly checkup or yearly checkup, sorry. And the first thing they
Yes.
do,
Like hop on the scale.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I got on the scale and I did not feel good
Yes.
about the weight because I was like, oh man, this is the first time I've weighed over this.
Mhm.
And then that affected my whole rest of the day, the whole visit, the whole time. I was just like, so what's that about, I guess?
So
I don't know. Maybe I'm just processing what
No,
you said.
right.
like, in
But see,
real
that's the thing.
time.
It's like, what about that? And that's what I like to do with a lot of clients is if someone was to come to me right now and say that, I would ask them, okay, at what point did a specific number, when did that become a focus for you?
Yeah.
At some point in your brain, when did that correlate with this means that I'm healthy enough?
Yeah.
So going back to, it's an old school mentality that was been instilled for a really long time. You think, oh, and like, for example, I get this statement a lot. Well, back when I was in high school, I weighed
Yep.
blah.
Yep.
You also weren't fully developed. You were not even an adult in high
Yeah.
school. If you weighed 120 pounds when you were a senior, you weren't even an adult yet. You
Yeah.
weren't even, your brain doesn't even stop functioning and
Yeah.
start fully like forming until you're in your late 20s. So why would we think that our body has to be a specific amount of weight? And some of it is that.
I guess I just feel weird because I had this idea of inviting you on to talk about
Now we're breaking it down.
resolutions and all of this and how to stick with them.
Uh-huh.
And now I feel like it's all wrong. Not
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
but like,
but yeah.
I mean, there's a whole different, you're making me,
Shift a little bit.
shift my
Behavior
thinking.
change.
Well, yeah, because and I'd really thought about some of these health resolutions,
Yeah.
but what I guess I'm being challenged to think about is this idea of, really listening, slowing down, happiness, movement, and shedding a lot of this baggage.
Yeah.
That I think especially, I think what happened to me too is when I turned 40, I'm almost 41, is I started thinking, oh, well, a whole new decade and all of these health things started creeping up on me. And so I think I fell into a lot of that expectations or societal, preconceived notions of what I think I need to do. And it's really liberating to talk with you about this.
And like the thing is thank you so much. The thing is if like you've had a resolution and you have one right now, that doesn't mean that it's bad ever. Like if you enjoy setting very specific goals for the new year, more power to you. It's very great to set goals. I set goals for myself as well, but I set them throughout and I also make them specific. And I make them manageable and realistic. And then I check in with myself and I make adjustments as needed because life gets in the way of life.
Yeah, they're coming from within,
Yes.
I guess, right? There's
Absolutely.
not these ideas that now that I'm 40, I should be able to do X, Y, Z. But this idea, okay, what do I need? What makes me feel happy or what gives me joy in this world?
And when it comes to resolutions in general too, it's like, okay, if you're setting one, then you have to set it to where it is for you. It's not I saw it on a Pinterest board. It's, okay, so my name is Tim. I have 2 children. I have a wife. I have this job, XYZ. It's not realistic for me to set a resolution to go run 4 miles every single morning at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It's just not. If we automatically cut the legs out from underneath of us before we even begin, then we've set ourselves up for failure.
Yeah.
So when we can set any goal, any resolution of any kind in a small, measurable way that is for us It's what's going to actually work with our life, work with our health and wellness, work with our fitness, not, okay, I can barely find 45 minutes a day for myself to set a time frame of, I need to work out for at least an hour and a half.
Be in the gym an hour and a half.
Yes.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not fair to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot to this idea that I think we're expected to feel bad about ourselves. I think there's a lot of marketing that goes beyond, making me want to buy X, Y, and Z to make me feel good. But just this idea of like, okay, it's okay to feel happy. It's like, well, then what am I supposed to do with all this time and money? I'm supposed to be spending and buying and doing. And,
exactly. And see, that's the thing that I talk about a lot too, is anytime you're being told a specific message, even regardless of what it is, when it comes to health and wellness, look at what the reasoning is behind that message. Is it to make money for a company?
Sell you X product.
Right? Yeah. Is it to help you, or is it to gain something for them, So when we can take a pause and think, okay, why did I just buy another supplement that is going to go sit in my pantry half open that I didn't really use? It's because you never needed it to begin with. It was never going to solve all the problems, because the problems aren't always external. Sometimes it's little things that we just need to focus on within us, whether that's specific things with your digestive tract, or if you're having a specific injury, or whatever it could be. It's then they can't sell you that. They can't sell you the fixes when they're little that come from within.
No, I think that is a really great lens through which to view this Super Bowl. When we're watching these $1 million for 30-second spots. How are they trying to get you to, what is the cause? Kind of peeling that back.
Absolutely.
No, this has been very, very helpful, Callee. I really... No, and I hear what you're saying. It's not bad to make resolutions. It's just this idea of, trying to kind of come from, square peg into round hole kind of idea, or just make everybody fit into these molds that we have. And I think that's kind of what you said at the beginning, really key to your approach when you're working with clients. Everything stems from them, right? I mean, that idea that you really hone in and you're asking these questions. I mean, that just sounds like really powerful work.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I just, as someone who was in the quicksand for a very long time, I don't want people to feel like that. I don't want people to feel the negativity that comes from a lot of it. People deserve to live a healthy, happy life and not have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do so, or not have to feel absolutely miserable on the inside while you're like, well, at least I've dropped another pound. At least I've done another. That's not, we want well-rounded wellness triangle, your social health, your mental, emotional health, and your physical health. You have to have sharp points to actually make the triangle there. If they're not sharp, then they're kind of just a glob. You don't have a shape anymore. Your social health is important. Your mental health is important. Your physical health is important. They all go together. So when we have that as a big thought process, being an individual, it's good to take the approach of, okay, I don't have an hour and a half to go to a gym. I only have 45 minutes and I have my kid for 30 of those minutes. What do I do? Okay. What works for you? How do we make it work for you in your life? Okay, now you're walking with your children. Okay, now you're playing with your kids outside. Whatever it could be, it has to be working with you and benefiting you in multiple ways versus I'm miserable during this process. I can't wait for this 30-day challenge to be up. Like that's awful. That sucks. And then it's a cognitive behavior thing. Then you've done a behavior that creates thoughts and feelings, and you are now in this cycle of, okay, I hate this, but I haven't lost weight, so then now I need to do blah, and then it's creating a cycle of just toxicity. But once we can take a pause and start to pull a couple of things out and realize what goes together and what doesn't go together, they don't have as much power over you anymore. And then you start to feel, oh, wait, I can have a salad and I can have a cheeseburger. It's eating the rainbow, living life in the best way that you can for you, doing fitness for you, what it looks like for you is what's important.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you also don't know how to do it on your own. So either finding a support group or finding a personal trainer or a behavior change specialist or a therapist, whoever it might be, to talk about some of these things is important, because you're only going to be able to see through your lens, right? So it's like, you can only see what you can see, and that's not your fault. That's just through your lens.
Yeah.
So
asking for
else.
help, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's good.
absolutely.
It's a sign of health. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because sometimes when we have different people from different areas, it gives you different perspectives. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. And then you can kind of start to break it down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This has helped me a ton. I'm really, really glad you came on today. So thank you very much, Cal.
I've loved it. I've had a great time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks.